Greetings, drum corps fans. How are we all doing? Welcome to the Drums Along the Rockies 2025 first official DCI contest of 2025 pre-show. So basically what I wanted to do was just come online here before the show starts out there in good old Colorado and just talk about a little bit about who's performing and what they're going to be doing a little bit. We have pictures of their show posters, the uniforms that they're going to be having, and some of the musical selections. So definitely, yes, we'd like to take a look at all that stuff. We've already seen some great drum corps last night and earlier tonight. I did tune in last night to the official preview show, and I also tuned in later on to the Vanguard's kind of presentation with the Colombians. Very cool to see. Really, I counted up about 9 different drum corps performances I've seen so far here, just over the 2 nights. And well, of course, we got 5 more here to see here coming up at Drums Along the Rockies. So that'd be awesome. So yeah, I mean, it's been great because we saw a little bit of everything, right? We saw last night certainly some world-class corps perform. We saw an open class corps perform, which was the Colombians, which was pretty cool. They're partnering up there with the basically the van up there in Utah. Very neat. Sounds like they got a good thing going up there. And then tonight, we, of course, saw the Blue Coats World Class Corps, of course. And we saw a couple of Rogues Hollow Lenderman and some of the other kind of open all age, I'm sorry, not open, but all age corps tonight. So again, saw a little bit from all 3 divisions, right? I think the only thing we missed was an international corps, which is, being June 28th here, not a surprise that we haven't seen anything there yet. So let me get right into the show tonight and all that good stuff. I'm going to just bear with my eyes and stuff looking off screen. I'm just kind of pulling in some files here that we can take a look at some stuff of what's happening at this Drums Along the Rockies. And yeah, before we get too far along, here I am sporting my this was the Denver DCI in 2004 shirt and design. I love this design. It looks brand new, right? I mean, for a shirt that's 21 years old this summer. No, I never really wore this one very often, believe it or not. I don't really wear my drum corps shirts just as a random thing. Yeah, I don't really wear my drum corps shirts outside of drum corps season. So yeah, so there you are. Hey, how's it going, Geo Mitz? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, unfortunately, no, I will not be actually streaming the show, Drums Along the Rockies here. You would have to go to the Flow Marching, or maybe, I don't know, look around on the web. There might be some other option there, but we're kind of low tech here, believe it or not. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that properly. And actually, I really want to step on some toes there, especially with the flow. So, but thanks for asking. I appreciate it, and thanks for tuning in. You have a favorite corps you're looking to watch here tonight at Drums Along the Rockies? Boston, yeah. No, I'm very definitely looking forward to Boston. Really, until last night when they showed kind of like a little bit of, their dress rehearsal, I guess it was, or maybe it was a performance for the community or something. I didn't know anything about what they're up to, other than, of course, they announced "Boom," their show title. But really, to see the uniform and everything and the core, yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens. And truthfully, kind of just a random thought here, but I think they actually will win their first championship this summer. It is way early to make predictions and things, although people love to do it, and so do I on occasion. But I just think they've been teetering up there at the top, and I think it's basically their time. They went out west. It's an anniversary year. It's got all the makings of kind of a Cinderella story of sorts, of a special season. So yeah, I'm kind of rooting for them. I actually been a Boston fan most of the time over the years. I remember way back. They used to be one of the early cores to go on in a lineup back in. I mean, you got to remember, I'm pretty old, so they were performing along with Dutch Boy, which was a Canadian core at the time, and one other chorus kind of slipped in my mind. But they were always very enjoyable to watch, and they would always give you a good kickoff to a show night when performing at local shows. So yeah, Crossman. I'm sorry about that, Bones. Kind of left you out there, but those three cores used to be exciting to watch in the early season and early in the evening at a show. So yeah, have you seen any? Just curious if you've seen any performances like last night or even the Bluecoats premiere. Did you watch any of that by any chance? Just curious. As I'm pulling up the poster here for the Troopers, and we're going to take a look at what they're up to. I mean, I think most people have seen this already, but just in case, we're going to show you some stuff. We have a few moments to do that. So here we're just loading up the poster. Troopers continuing along with the basically with this trilogy or whatever it be. Some even say it's a 4-part, but yeah, I mean, they, as I said, most people know kind of what they're doing. They announced their show about 9 or so years ago. No, 9 or so months ago. But basically, here's the show poster of the Troopers. Just a super cool poster, right? The Final Sunset 2025. So it should be very interesting to see. I didn't watch their premiere last night. I wanted to save to wait till tonight. But yeah, so it yeah. So oh yeah, I get you there looking for something. You're preaching to the choir there. I back in the day I was in the same boat. Trust me. I had to go out and search for something somewhere. So I hear you there. So that's the Troopers show. Let's get a list here of what they're performing, and we're just gonna put that up on the screen as well. Let's see what we got here, guys. Sorry it takes so long, but I don't know why it takes so long to load, other than maybe the image size is just a little big kind of thing, but that's all right. We got time to mess with it. I'm going to show you now the music selections Troopers will be doing. By any chance, did you march in any corps? I'm just curious, Gio. I myself didn't have the fortune of going into DCI. I was in an all-age corps here in New Jersey. We were very good. Never placed lower than third. We went undefeated one year. We placed second twice. So, had a very good corps and all the years I was in. So here's some of the music for the Troopers performance or for their show this year. Original music. Then we have Embarking and Setting Sail, Many Mothers, In This Heart, Funeral for a Friend. I'm curious to see what they do with that. And Elton John and Bernard Turpin's tune. That should be very interesting. And here's a picture. I didn't really have a great picture here of the uniform, but let's see if we got it here. Let's see if we can just show you something anyway. They showed a picture of the uniform that I saw that I was able to find for something to put here on the screen. Later in the program, it looks like they put on this kind of a white duster of sorts, I guess it is, you'll see here in a second. But they don't start the show that way. So again, maybe maybe they're going to make some changes with that, at some point. I don't know. You can kind of maybe take them on and off throughout the show. Maybe again, very early here yet. I'm sure they're going to make lots of tweaks and changes and such as the season goes. So here's the trooper uniform. Again, they add this white part over the top, and more of like a spandex thing. And then here's a guard uniform, very very colorful. So I'm glad to see they kept the hat. That was very important to me, and I think probably a lot of fans, because it just gives a much better, stronger, menacing look, kind of thing. So I think it fits right along with them. So Troopers will be first tonight in performance order. Then we're going to have performing second. You talk about a real shift of uniform, is the Colts here. But let's bring up their show poster. I wish I would have remembered what the names of the shows were while I'm loading these things, guys, but I don't remember. So we will try to just get it loaded here as quick as we can. Beyond this, it's going to kind of slow down for live streams until next, I believe it's Thursday. There's a show. And then, of course, over the weekend, there's going to be 2 shows. There's going to be a big one that I've actually been to twice. Awesome venue, awesome show, great group of people run that show. Very smooth. Is the one out in Whitewater, Wisconsin, and I've been there twice. And then there's the show out west, which is happening also. So that should be very exciting next weekend. Let's see what we got here. It's still loading that picture, so I'm gonna have to, figure out a way to shrink down the size for the stream here. It just takes a bit too long to load. Maybe I can load them. I don't know. Maybe I can preload them. I'm like an early season drum corps right now, guys. I'm not. This is a first stab at doing this podcast and live cast stuff. I'm brand new to it, so just your patience is definitely appreciated. So here we are with Colts. This is their there's a lot in this photo. I invite you to take a good close look at this sometime offline. In Restless Dreams, Colts 2025, obviously something totally different for them. And I'll tell you, that would make a great horror movie poster for sure. I mean, that's, as I said, there's a face in here, there's some things in there, there's another one there. It's quite something. They were very creative to come up with that design, whoever that was. So I think I have some tunes that will be in this show for the Colts. Definitely curious to seeing what they're going to do, because again, this is definitely a departure from what they've been doing lately. So let's see what we got here. Again, I've been a fan of the Colts for quite a bit too. Most of the time, I've enjoyed their shows. There may be just a couple that I wasn't too big a fan of. I think there was one. I don't even remember what it was. Something to do with composite color or something one year. Yeah, but most of the time they put out some pretty cool stuff. Let's see here. Okay, here's the. Okay, that's a little small. Sorry, guys, but there's the repertoire for the Colts show. Very cool. I usually don't recognize most of this music, but if you play, almost like name that tune, right? You play 5 or 10 notes of something up, always, oh yeah, I definitely know that song. But by name and artist and stuff, sometimes I'm really not able to kind of click into that in my mind. So interestingly enough. So let's see. We will show you a picture of their very interesting uniform for sure. As I said, quite a different shift here with the Colts. Be very curious to see how this all comes together. Someone said that parts of the uniform will actually blend into the Lucas Oil turf color. It's very much the same color. So that would be pretty neat, because I guess parts of the person or whatever would kind of disappear for a moment and reappear. And then there's also kind of a 2-sided uniform effect that they have going on too. So quite a bit of effect there built into the actual uniform design. So here's a picture of at least the horn line. You can see a little bit of the guard in the back. I mean, that one, boy, that'll get your eyes going quick, right? And then in the back, it's interesting because the guard kind of has the same striping and such, except in a much more muted color palette. Very kind of, you would think that it would be the other way around. You think the guard might have the loud, proud colors, and then the core proper would have something like this. But nope, that's not the case. So yeah, as I said, should be very interesting to see um, how that all works out. And again, if it does in fact kind of show the members and then they kind of disappear. So the third core tonight, interestingly enough, in a lineup of five, very unusual, I think, usually because we're used to them going on last or next to last. The next one is Blue Devils is the third core performing tonight. So not the best draw performance wise, kind of thing, but it is very early season, so does it really make that big a deal? If you have an off night, a bad night, even a bad draw night, whatever it is, not a big deal. It's first show, right? But still, it's just nice to be able to go on later, later in the evening. But this show tonight out in basically Colorado, it's hosted by the Blue Knights, and it's been going under the Drums Along the Rockies name for a long, long time. But it's definitely not in that area. It's in a different spot. So Blue Devil Show, as most people probably seen already, is variations on a gathering. And there it is, Blue Devils. Lots of blue here, lots of different colors of blue, as you're going to see here in a minute with the uniform. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cores going with a blue look this year, including I saw a picture of the Mandarins uniform, which is like a blue and white. Looks like Boston has some blue going on as well. So yeah, blue seems to be the new I guess choice, or for some reason. So let's see, Blue Devils show music. We'll bring that up here, and again, quite a bit of music or material, as we know. Typically, most cores these days feature quite a bit of stuff from different artists, and it's kind of exciting in a way because we certainly over the years been exposed to so many different groups and artists that I would never have ever heard of. Blue Coats comes to mind. Some of the stuff they played in recent history, pretty cool. So yep, and look, pictures still loading here. Yeah, so again, we're really just I appreciate your patience with this. This is a new project for me, as we mentioned. First time doing something like this. So any support or recommendations, suggestions are always welcome. So, yep. Very cool way, by the way, here with Blue Devils. Maybe not surprising, being as creative as they can be, or any of these cores really, is the way they did this, the music that they're going to be performing. I know they start the show right off with Kashmir, which is pretty cool. The way they kind of build up to a big hit, which is pretty nice. I did get a small clip. I don't like to watch too many preseason clips because usually the recording quality is not great. And you know what? I just kind of like to just see it all, in its proper format and in show mode, so to speak, I guess you could say. But yeah, so I'll look every so often. I'll take a quick peek, at something, but I won't watch a whole show, kind of thing. I know there was quite a bit of stuff there, and within the last week, I think there was clips of the whole show of Blue Devils, the whole show of Carolina Crown. I think some Cavalier stuff was out there, and all that good stuff. So one that was I heard that nobody saw until last night, and then when people saw it last night, they were quite surprised. Was the Santa Clara Vanguard. So here's a I'm fortunate it's not brighter, but you get the idea that there's going to be quite a different variations of the uniform in blues and whites and black, of course, and they all kind of have the I call them waist capes. I'm not sure what the technical name is, but I'm sure there's something else. But hey, you know what? I coined the phrase, so if it happens to catch on, then I want all the royalties for waist cape. But and then the guard kind of actually matches most of the way, I think. But yep, so I guess it's all, again, a gathering is kind of like, a mix of people on the street or a mix of people anywhere. So you kind of would be a little bit, kind of have an individual look about you. You know what I mean? So I guess that's the concept. I don't go really too deep into the concepts. I'm more, again, just for the music and the vibe. It's all about the vibe for me. And I know pretty, usually pretty soon whether I'm liking or not liking a particular show from a particular core. But yep. So after the Blue Devils, we're going to go with Boston. So we're going to get a great kind of back to back, look at those two cores, which is a big deal because obviously Boston Crusaders going out to the West Coast here to start their season is a big thing, and certainly they like to make a great impression while being out there. And with the Blue Devils kind of going head to them with quite a bit, and even the Vanguard, certainly, as they look like the Vanguard looks like they're going to be in the definitely in the hunt for something up there in the top parts of the core because they looked pretty spectacular last night. So here's Boston Crusaders show poster. Boom. Very cool. I think it kind of really speaks to what they're going to be going for here. Kind of that uniform, as you're going to see in a second in the picture, is kind of matches this blue color a little bit, and certainly the metallic a little bit. So we'll just let's see here. We'll bring up their show music. We have just a minutes left. I think we can get through all these. I'm not sure. We probably won't be able to do this for the Whitewater show. This is way too many cores to bring up slides for individually. Maybe we can cover a couple things, but all that good stuff. Let's see. That's still loading. Myself, as of so far of the performances I saw, basically the one I'm most interested in seeing more of, at least at this point, again, it's very early, is Carolina Crown. I really do like the way they look, the way they're moving, and the way they sound. Should be very interesting. Here's something I had to do a little bit of work with to get all these songs on one screen. So it kind of goes this way, the way they listed them out for the Boston Crusader show is this song, this one, or artist. I guess they're not songs, but this Hans Zimmer, which should be very interesting to see, and then this here. And anyone who's a Hans Zimmer fan out there, maybe if you know or don't know, he's actually on tour right now with a production, which is interesting. I'm going to be looking that up myself to see if I can catch that somehow. It would be pretty cool to see him in person and in concert of venue kind of setting. Very unique, I guess. So, yep. I mean, I imagine they'll do more if it goes well. So yeah, he's definitely a super creative guy and has all kinds of music that he makes. Some very unique stuff. Uniform wise, here's what we have from Boston. We'll load that up in here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, so again, Crown really appealed to me so far. And when I saw parts of the Blue Coat definitely like the ballad till the end of the show seemed to be really more polished, more worked on, I guess you could say, or cohesive is probably the word I'm looking for, than the front half of the program. But here we are. Here's Boston. Kind of this very metallic look to it. This is kind of a low color picture. Certainly the colors are more vibrant than this. But yeah, should be very interesting to see how that all looks on the field. Again, the video they did post looked really good. That there's a real sheen to that top part of the uniform that just pops right out, right? Now, finally, we will show you some information for the host core of tonight's show out at Drums Along the Rockies, which is the Blue Knights. And up until very recent, I didn't know what they were up to, too. They kind of kept things very, very quiet as well. And they're going for a real different kind of look to them. I really liked the look they had last year with Busk. I thought that was a really cool uniform. I mean, if you're going to do a different kind of thing, that was pretty neat idea. The design, kind of almost like a leather kind of thing going on. But yep. So we're just loading this up. Interesting enough, this was an amazing DCI, by the way, out in Denver, Colorado. That stadium was spectacular venue for the Drum Corps Championships that year. It was absolutely amazing. So Blue Knights, their show is called Drip. So it's actually literally, drip, I guess, is they're going for here. You're going to tell here in a second that, they have part of the core is dressed in kind of a burnt orange sort of color, which is probably going to make up some kind of piping. It looks like they have some props. And then the color guard is wearing like very varying shades of blue. So I guess they're going to represent the water part of it. But let's see if we have the show music. I don't think I was able to find. Yeah, I wasn't able to find a kind of a file of their show music, unfortunately. But we will take a look at their uniform real quick. Gio, I'm not sure if you're out there. If you're not, I don't blame you. But if you are, thank you for hanging in and hanging with me. I appreciate it very much. And yeah, as I said, we hope to get better and smoother with this as we go through the season. I plan to do quite a bit more of these pre and post. And don't forget, I am jumping on after the show. As soon as the scores are announced and completed, being announced for Drums Along the Rockies, I am coming back online here for a bit of a recap. I'm going to keep some notes. And yeah, so definitely come back if you can. We'd love to have you. So yeah, as you can see, this kind of is part of it looks like part of a pipe of sorts, broken pipe. And then the guard is, well, I guess the drum major guard is in blue, and then the rest of the core is kind of in this piping color. So very different kind of look for the Blue Knights. So kind of the color looks reminiscent to like Pacific Crest from last year, if you look at that, right? So that's it, folks. That's all we're going to do for the moment, and we'll be back after they announce the scores and the results of tonight's contest, the very first contest of the 2025 DCI season. So very cool. The long doldrums of waiting for the season to start are over, folks. So let's go and check out some really awesome drum corps. And yeah, it just gets bigger and better from here, right? So thanks again for tuning in and watching along. If you're not, I'd love to have you kind of tune in the future, join the live chat, subscribe, comment or something, or a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever makes your word go around, all that good stuff. So again, enjoy the show tonight, and we will see you in the post show. Okay.